to tell you a little bit about him. He's going to come up here with his laptop.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll put it over here, or you put it up there.
I'll explain later why.
I'm going to talk about you first, though. Sam has a very, very interesting and extensive background, which ranges from his 6 years in the U.S. Air Force to his extensive community service. Sam served in the New Hampshire House of Representatives for 3 terms. He's currently serving as Senator for District 3. He was born in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and moved to New Hampshire in 1971 when they opened a restaurant in Seabrook. What kind of restaurant was it?
Italian restaurant. That's a scene, right?
Some accomplishments were, and this is exactly what you'd expect from an Italian restaurant entrepreneur, right? A commercial pilot's license. He worked 11 years as an environmental technician, 22 years as a commercial nuclear contractor, a computer instructor, a member of the Speakers Bureau, and he also manages to serve on the budget committee of his hometown in Farmington. He is a proud father, grandfather, and he has great grandchildren as well. Please help me to welcome Senator.
Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. And I do have one message. I am on the jail card committee. By the way, jail card is all the rules that the various departments want to change. And being one of the senators on there, I will be gladly looking at what's coming up. I received, over the past year, some 85 emails. What I'm going to do tonight is read 3 of them. One from a constituent, one from Wyndham State, and one from New York. The first one is one of my constituents. Competency-based education is repackaging the outcome-based education system that failed our children years ago. When introduced into the public school system about 30 years ago, and has substantially been removed. Competency-based education is based on the fact that the student has mastered the material. I believe that one I wrote too. Most research, opinion papers, and point papers are based on the fact that competency-based education has been implemented in the post-secondary education setting with a major influence in the health science field. See what I'm saying, by the way, the health science field. You remember, too, one thing in kindergarten, they're going to use computers. And they're going to have a little computer sitting there saying 1 + 5 = what? Without the answer, by the way. Without the answer. Once you get on the internet, start reading all these tests that they're going to give these children, you're going to know where the hell are they coming from. 1 + what is what? And you got it wrong, they want to know why you got it wrong, and you weren't taught. I was taught 1 × 1 is 1. 10 × 10 is 100. Remember the times tables? Did you want to remember the times tables? That's gone, isn't it? Why? Competency-based education ignores the obvious fact that one cannot engage in higher order thinking until one has the same facts under their belt. This is pretty good, by the way. She wrote this really nicely. This is a correspondence, by the way, from a mother whose child class is participating in competency-based education. My daughter's first grade class is self-guided learning. First grade. Self-guided. They self-guided themselves to a recess to learn almost nothing, but almost had, and they had 4 special needs children in the class with no aids. That's even better. So it was a year of chaos and drama every day. So sad. As a grandmother and taxpayer, I hope not. But all the evidence points that it's true. She continues. Taxes is what she talks about. Putting computers into the hands of first graders to give them the facade of moving into a modern technology is a gross value of wasteful funds. Computers may actually be a deterrent to learning elementary writing and arithmetic skills. Let me tell you about computers. I was a computer instructor. I was teaching GET, 15 students, Microsoft Office, at one of the high schools here in New Hampshire and in Massachusetts too. One of the students did not know how to read. She was 27 years old. Did not know how to read. I found that out the first night. But I was lazy. I said, all right, ready? You read the first paragraph, you read the second, you read the third. Rather than me spending the time, let them engage and learn who I am, who the students are. And she refused. Hit the computer with a fist. Okay. I talked to her later, found out she couldn't read. After, when we had the exams, what I did was I sat down with her, asked her the questions. Question number 1, blah, 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 either A, B, C, or D. I'd read the answers for her, and she knew the answer. She remembered what I said in class. She graduated that year with the 4 courses on the word itself and accent with 92. She couldn't read, but she could understand everything I said, and she remembered it. And that was the key. At least she learned it. Are they going to learn in kindergarten what 1 plus 1 is without being taught? Competency-based education involves tightening class control in the expense of local control. And what is local control? Every one of us is local control, by the way. We control the students in our town, not the state. Remember that. We in the town control it. And on the budget committee, if that school of mine in Farmington is going to have that, I will vote against it. And that's how it amounts to. I will vote against competency-based education in Common Core. It's not needed in this state or this country. For somebody else to make some money. In other words, no research based to verify the claims of competency-based education have been established, and they claim that major partners will shift away and can therefore not be substantiated. I love these words. She's pretty good one. Moving the state of New Hampshire, the competency-based education system will put our children at a major disadvantage and will constitute lost years of their education. Other states and districts have already gone down this path and realized their mistakes. It's a shame that this state, we are unable to learn from the mistakes of others and must make the same mistake ourselves before we become better informed. I will bypass most of this stuff. I'll go to another one. This is from within the state level. It sets an alarming precedent for circumventing constitutional government and allowing collision of public funds and private interest without the traditional oversight established by the laws of either the state or the federal government. Remember I said about local control. You control your schools, not the state. There is a bill I'm putting in. I'm going to go off the track in a minute. It's still confidential because all the people haven't been notified to be on there by co-sponsors. We're going to be looking at this entire problem, and even within the state itself, in the Board of Education. And I love these questions. Where will you align yourself? Will you oppose the Common Core alignment agenda against the local control of our schools? Let us say yes. Do that. The last and not least, this is my licensed clinical social worker out of New York. You get a lot of emails about it. We all do. And send it to Sergeant, the same thing. We get all over the country, we get emails. But this one's pretty good. She's a licensed coastal social worker. Almost half my caseload consists of teachers. See a couple back there? Teachers. Half her caseload is teachers. Teachers began to report increased anxiety over having to learn 2 entirely new curricula for math. School districts across the board were constantly disabling themselves and couldn't find a curriculum, and emphasizing one-size-fits-all in the program. I was beginning to refer a large number of honor students, mostly 8th graders. The kids were self-mutilating themselves, cutting themselves, getting cigarettes, and burning themselves. That's self-mutilation with cigarettes. My phone never stopped ringing. What was prompting the increases in self-mutilation behavior, and why now, was the question she asked. They were throwing tantrums, begging me to stay home, and upset even to the point of vomiting. These are students in high school. Kids beginning homework that the parents didn't understand, and have homeschoolers, and everybody's out their children. I know I did. With my 5 children, my 16 grandchildren. We helped, we worked together. Kids were getting home that parents didn't understand, and they couldn't help their children complete. No textbook to the parents to peruse or even to understand what idea of the children were learning. The first time I heard the term Common Core, and I became awakened to a new set of standards that all schools were to adhere to, with no ifs, ands, or buts. The Common Core and high-stakes testing created a hostile working environment for the teachers, becoming a hostile learning environment for the students. Teachers get upset. What's going to happen? inside the school. I see children and teenagers who are exhausted, running from anxiety from different activities, living on fast food when texting, using social media and playing games on their little laptop computers. And then wee hours of the morning, still at night, staying up playing on their computers. We also have children taking cell phones right into the classroom. How many have seen that? How many teachers we have here?
Oh, I'm sorry.
My cell phone's in the car, where it belongs. And it's off, by the way. I don't have that cell phone on when we drive. Young children are simply not wheeled to engage and learn to engage in this new concept. We also couldn't believe that the teachers wouldn't help the students. You understand what's happening? If you're slow, guess what? You're going to be slow for the next 8 years, 12 years. There is no high, no, everybody's going to be equal level. No high, no low. I have to give you a little blue story quickly. When I was in the 3rd grade, brother, I went to 12 years of parochial school. I didn't go to private school. I throw that out a lot too, by the way. I went to parochial school, not private school. There's a big difference. And then a little boy came into my class in the 3rd grade. A week later, he went into the 4th grade. A week after that, he went into the 5th grade. Why? My age, a little different. He knew the learning he received in the other country he came from was high superior knowledge. And he advanced from the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th. And that's what you do in the schools. You don't hold these children back. None of them. We're asking children to write critically, using emotionally charged language to persuade rather than to inform. When we're asking young children to use emotional, that's a good word, I won't use that, language, we are actually asking them to fuel their persuasiveness with fear and anger. They are not capable of judgment required to temper their reason and logic. This is pretty good. I'm going to finish it up one more line. She's 6th grader who once aspired to be a writer, who now hates it because do it all day long, even in math, I hate it. A mother who has to leave work because the child is hysterical over his math homework, and a CPA, grandmother, doesn't even understand what she's doing. Who would dread going to school, feel stupid, and like failures, and now completely turned off to education? And that's what's happening to our children. They're becoming stupid. I hate to use that word. We're going to change this Common Core. We need to go back to our roots, educate the children, and it starts in the home. We go down to that school, find out what they teach you, and get it out. And we will conquer Common Core in this school. Thank you very much.
GrokTV.